Well, hello and welcome to the Profit Express. I'm Tim Healy. I'm inviting you to join me each and every Wednesday so you could be prepared to win the battle for business. Now, listen, I know you're out there, you're closing deals, you're making money, you're turning prospects into profits. So I've always got to make it worth your while. That's why I have on the kinds of guests that you can listen, learn, and earn from. Today's guest, no exception, because it's me, yours truly, that's right. So welcome aboard. Thanks for sharing some of your time with me today. And I also have to thank the supporters of the show, in particular, Corbett Public Relations. They've been promoting and protecting businesses and brands for over 30 years. So, hey, do me a favor, visit Bill and his team at CorbettPR.com. That's CorbettPR.com. Now, I know you've probably heard the phrase before, and I love it. You got to sing like nobody's listening. You got to dance like nobody's watching. And here's one of my favorites. You got to sell like you don't need the money. That's right. And it's amazing how many people sell scared. I saw an example of it today. And that's what I want to help you with today. This is how I want to help you win the battle for business by encouraging you not to sell scared. Why do people sell scared? Hey, that's a great question. I have no idea why. Because at the end of the day, the bottom line is this. If you sell scared, you're going to lower your price. You're going to give away free concessions, free product, free shipping. And then what happens is you get less commission. The deals are less profitable. So at the end of the day, there's no reason why you should ever sell scared, but it happens all the time. And that's what I want to talk about today. So I want to talk about what I think are three of the most common scenarios that sales professionals end up selling scared in. And more importantly, what you can do to prevent yourself from selling scared. All right, so here we go today. So let's start with the scenarios. What are the typical scenarios that I see a lot of sales professionals falling into and they end up selling scared? So number one, you have got yourself in a selling hole. Let's say it's halfway through the year and you should obviously be at 50% of your annual goal and you're at 25%. So you're in the hole 25% and you start to panic. You're like, oh, I got to sell. I got to get my numbers up. Not good. So that's typically the number one most common scenario where you find salespeople starting to sell scared. Now, here's another one that I also find interesting. Let's say you've gotten a brand new sales job and you're excited. But then by the same token, you're also starting to get a little nervous. How long is it going to take me to get up and running? How long is it going to take me to start selling, closing deals and making some money, making some commission? Not a place to start a new job. Now, what you want to do in the interview process is this. You want to find out, well, what's the average size sale in the industry? How long is the sales cycle? Is it 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, or a year? You want to find that out. You want to find out what are the typical people making in this business, in this industry. So if you start to find out some of these numbers, average size sale, sales cycle, and you don't like those numbers and those numbers scare you, you know what? You probably shouldn't take the job because you're going to end up starting by selling scared. Not a good place to be. So that's scenario number two. Scenario number three, this one is a classic. I hear it a lot. A salesperson says, hey, Tim, I've been going after this prospect for months and months and months. I finally got an appointment. They said they love the products. They can envision themselves buying tons of our products. They're really excited. But then they say to me, well, hey, you got to meet us halfway. You got to do better on pricing. Whoa, pump the brakes. Now, you're excited for the new client. They've built it up that there's all sorts of potential. You've been going after them and prospecting them for months. And they will do what all smart prospects do, all smart negotiators do. They're posturing you. They're trying to put you into a corner with the lure, dangling the carrot of business. So if you start off by lowering price, giving concessions, not a good place to be. And what you're doing is you're creating not a great relationship, and they're not going to respect you. Okay? So those are, again, those three scenarios. When we sell scared, you're in a selling hole, you're on a bad streak, you're down 25%, or you're starting a new job, you're nervous about when you're going to start producing, or you got that new client that you really want to grab a hold of. So that's when it's most likely going to put a salesperson in a position to sell scared. But again, let's never forget, Selling scared doesn't help you. Selling scared doesn't put more money in your pocket, and it erodes at your confidence. Each time you sell scared, okay, even if you close a deal, and you can close deals selling scared, all right, because if you're giving stuff away, prospects will say yes. But think about this. This is so important because we talked about this on the show a lot. It's your mindset. Each time you sell scared and you're giving up commission, you're giving up a piece of your confidence. It's chiseling away and eroding at who you are as a sales professional. Not good. Can't have it. So those are the scenarios to be aware of. Now, so how do we combat this? This is where it gets fun. All right. So let's look at the first one. Let me get a little drink from the cup here. There we go. You see, whenever I have my topics that I'm passionate about, I talk fast, the energy, and then I have to drink. All right, here we go. So if you were in a sales hole, okay, the first quarter was bad, the second quarter wasn't much better, now you're halfway into the year and you're down by 25%, you're really panicking. What you really should be looking at is, number one, look at your pipeline. What put you in this position to be in the hole that you're in? There's two very simple things, and we've talked about it before, but I'm going to remind you. You have to make sure that you have activity, enough activity so you're filling the pipeline with good opportunity. How do we know it's good opportunity? By qualifying, something we've also talked about on the show. So you want to have a healthy pipeline that's filled with qualified opportunity. So now you're thinking, okay, well, how does this prevent me from, not selling scared? Because when you have a healthy pipeline of qualified opportunity, you're not going to sweat losing a deal here or there. Listen, you want to close every single one of them, don't get me wrong. But when you stick to your guns, when you stick to your price, when you stick to your process, and you don't sell scared, and you lose one or two, and you won't care because you have 10 or 15 or 20 that are right behind it. So number one, if you're in a hole, what got you in the hole? And if you realize, hey, you know what? I have a lot of crap opportunity. I have unqualified shit in my pipeline. That's why I'm in this position. Okay, well, let me fix it. But then also don't sell scared. Because you want to just build up that pipeline, get it healthy, get it qualified as soon as humanly possible, because then that's going to give you confidence. And the more confident you are, the less you're going to have to sell scared. So again, activity, pipeline, qualifying. So that's number one. Number two, are you passionate for what you're selling? We talked about a new job, right? Sometimes you need a job, and I get it. Sometimes you got to pay the bills, and I understand. But there's nothing better than being passionate for what you're selling. Do you love the product or service? If you don't, you may want to look into another opportunity. Because never forget this. Passion is contagious. People like to be around other people who are passionate, people who are excited, people who love what they do. Because if you're passionate for what you do, it also helps create the perception as to who you are as a professional. And the more passionate you are, you're not going to be selling scared. So that's the second great strategy to not selling scared. Are you passionate for what you're doing? Because if you love what you're doing, you're not going to compromise. You're not going to undervalue yourself. Because that's what happens. When you sell scared, you're undervaluing your product, your service, who you are as a professional. Because you end up making less money. Either you're not going to close deals, or the deals you'll close will be less favorable. But if you're passionate, you love what you do, you're going to be more confident in what you do, and you're not going to give it away. Because you know what? Hey, if this isn't for you, maybe not everybody can afford your solution. Not everybody can afford your product. That's okay. Because I know, this is one thing I tell myself every day. There are thousands of people who need Tim Healy's help, Healy Success Solutions. Thousands. There are more people who need my help than I have the time to get to. And in one way that makes me sad, but I'll do the best to get to as many people as I can who will appreciate and respect what I have to offer. So don't undervalue yourself. Then a third strategy. Again, we're looking at not selling scared today on the Profit Express, winning the battle for business. And you can't win the battle for business if you're out there selling scared. You just can't. Because just like a dog can smell fear, a prospect can smell fear. And a prospect or a client, they're gonna prey on that. Because what's their job? Their job is to get the best possible deal, to save themselves money. And they're going to beat you up if they can. And if you're selling scared, that's a trap you're going to fall into. Okay, so we talked about having great activity, having a great, full, healthy, chock-full pipeline. Okay, because if you lose a deal too, no big deal. Then we talked about being passionate of what you sell, because if you're not, then you're just some schlub who's out there selling a product or service. And there's nothing really exciting setting you apart from the other salesperson. But if you love what you do, people recognize that. They want to be a part of that. So now here we are, the third strategy to help prevent you from selling scared. You should absolutely, starting today, be willing to walk away from the deal. Now here's a trick to that. You have to believe in that before you're in front of the prospect, before you present the solution, before you're trying to close. Because if you're not, then that means your head's not wrapped around it. That means you're really not confident in it. But if you walk in to any meeting that you have and you're willing to walk away, that also boosts your confidence. Perception's reality. And just as the prospect can sense fear and weakness, they can also sense confidence and passion. And they get a sense that, okay, this person's willing to walk away. And if they really want what you have to sell, if they really need your solution, if they really need your product or service, they're going to back off a bit. You have to be willing to walk away. Because if you're not, you're going to sell scared. It's funny how it happens. And as I said, there was an example of a client who was talking about it today, and I had to bring it up. They were selling scared. And this is a veteran in the finance industry who's been in the industry for, I think it's about 35 years. And he's saying, oh, I'm not selling scared. It's excuses and baloney. I know when somebody's selling scared. And if you're honest with yourself, you know when you're selling scared. Because if your numbers are in the toilet and you need to bolster your numbers, you figured, hey, you're talking to yourself in your car. You're talking to yourself in the shower in the morning. I just got to get some sales. I got to get some sales. My pipeline is weak. It's shallow. There's not a lot of good stuff in it. I got to close this deal today. So if that's how you're starting your sales day, you just shot yourself in the foot and it's not going to feel good. Guarantee, promise you. And yeah, can you close a deal? Sure. But don't forget, you gave up commission, you gave up profit, and more importantly, you gave up your posture. Not good. Not good. So think of the scenarios if you're in a hole. Don't sell scared. If you're starting a new job and you're really nervous about when am I going to start to make money, how long will it take me to make commission, maybe the job's not for you. You don't want to enter into an opportunity being that scared. Okay, you got to enter it being confident in who you are and why they hired you in the first place. And then also be very careful, right? Be very careful of the whole new client lure. They say, oh, Tim, we love your product or service. We're going to buy a ton of it. Oh, absolutely. But you got to do better on the price. Come on, you got to meet us halfway. So they're posturing you, they're testing you, they're smacking you around, and you see dollar signs. You say, oh, this could be a huge client. But you're starting off by creating a bad precedent and creating a bad relationship. So it's activity, it's qualifying, it's being passionate for what you do and be willing to walk away. And that can prevent you from selling scared. And when you're not selling scared, you're selling with confidence. And when you're selling with confidence, you close more deals. When you sell with confidence, you close more profitable deals. You know what? You get more referrals because it's contagious. It's who you are. So are you going to be weak and sell scared, or are you going to be confident? Choice is yours. But again, it's the Profit Express, and it's always about helping you win the battle for business. And that's what I want to help you do today. So until next time, do that one more thing. Make that one more call, one more appointment. Be willing to walk away from that one deal to bolster your confidence, not to sell scared. And until next time, it's the Profit Express.